Let's say you want to try to drum up some business. Send out a flyer or a postcard or something to a neighborhood or to everyone on a particular street, those kind of things. All right, great. We can do that by creating mailing labels. So how we can do that, there's a couple of different ways you can do it, but I found that using the Realist tax database is the easiest way to do it. Because the data, it's the same data you would see in the other way, but this one seems to be the easier way. And if you want to learn the hard way to do it, give me a call. I'll show you how to do it. You'll get frustrated and we'll go from there. But anyways, so what we want to do is we want to go up to the top of our screen where we can see the My Matrix, everything like that. And bear in mind, my screen will look a little bit different than yours. So don't worry about if you don't see market reports or some other things on the screen. I'm system admin, so I have to go in and fix things, and the only way I can do that is have those kind of options. All right. Well, I'm going to click on Realist Tax Database. So the Realist Tax Database can look anywhere in the state of Florida for information about a property, because you're real estate agents in the entire state of Florida. All right. You can list a property in Jacksonville through our MLS or the Keys or Pensacola. You can put it on our MLS. Now, you might not be able to get the direct exposure, but you can do that if you wanted to. So I want to do a search for, let's say, a particular street. I want to hit, email, not emails, but direct email, not direct email, sorry, direct US mail, send out postcards. So I could do something as simple as where the property address is. We'll do. Just type in Burnwood. I can now do a search. And it's going to give me all the properties that have Burnwood that are on the system, or not, excuse me, in the Realist tax database. And I know most of these are commercial properties, but if I had somebody that was looking for a commercial property, I could send it out, send all of these out by creating a label and pick all these people up. Babe, they bought a new place over here. Cool. Building next door. So let's say I wanted to create mailing labels. All I have to do at this point is, and I can unselect some of these if I don't want to send or create a label for them. And I'll show you another example in just a moment. But it's as easy as clicking on labels at the bottom. I like to use mixed case because anytime I get anything in the mail and it's all caps, it's right in the trash. And that's just the way it is. I can send it to the property address, or I can send it to the tax billing address. And that comes into play when you get into residential properties. Okay, because the tax billing address, they will eventually get the card, letter, whatever you're sending to them, and it may be forwarded to them while they're down here. But yes, you can send it directly to the property if you wanted to. You will need to check, show the current owner. And you're going to see LLCs and things like that because we're in a commercial setting right this moment. And you could also eliminate duplicate labels. All right. You can include foreign addresses. And you may want to do that with, especially if you're targeting Canadians, that you can get the mailing label and it will give you the tax billing address where it goes to in Canada. So all I have to do is create. I'm just going to open this, or I could save it as a Word document, but I'm just going to open it. And this is what it's going to look like. Bear with me 1 second. I want to make sure I'm sharing. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, yeah, it's still there. And this is what it would look like. Well, let me blow these up a little bit. Where's my... Oh, yeah. So we can see where the tax billing address is on these particular properties. Okay. This will not give them the address you're interested in, but you could do something generic on a postcard going, if you're interested in listing your property on your flyer or whatever, postcard, whatever you send out, you can then create labels and send these labels out. So all we have to do at this point to create labels, we have to, in Word, and I believe you also have to do it in Google Word or Google Docs, is enable the editing. And at that point, if you see something that's off, something that's not spelled right or something, then you can edit that, save it, and then just go up and click on File, Print, pick your printer. And by default, I like to use the 5160s, which you can get 30 on a page. And you print that out through your printer, and you've created all these labels. So it's as simple as that, but sometimes it gets a little difficult. So let's do something a little bit different. I want to look for a specific area, okay? The max you can send out, as you can see, create is 3,000. You can create up to 12,500 of these labels per month. If you need more, give me a call. I can pull some strings and get you extra. But if you're sending out 12,000 postcards in a month, and it resets every month, if you're sending that much out, okay, we need to talk about something else there. So it's like, hold on. All right. So I can clear my search. But let's say I want to look for a specific area. And I'm going to change this to make it with satellite view. I like that better. I can drag this little guy down, make my map a little bigger. I can also change it to where I'm just looking at a map or the listed properties, which you don't have any. But I like to start off with split. And let's go up and look at, oh, where'd it go? I went right past it, didn't I? I've gotten into Estero. My mat jumped. What the heck happened? Oh, here we go. This whole area is Spring Run at the Brooks. Okay. If I go in and try to search for all of the properties in Spring Run at the Brooks, I can't really do it looking from here. So what I have to do is click over here on the left-hand side and go from Quick Search to My Search. All right. As you can see, the last one I did was this way. So what I can do at this point, I could go in, and I'm going to scroll down, and I can select the list and now I see what Realist reports is all of the different subdivisions at Spring or phases in Spring Run at the Brooks. So I'm going to select all of them. Because in theory, this should give me all these properties that are in that development, right? Well, not exactly. So only 103 properties show up as actually being in Spring Run at the Brooks, because each individual builder that was in there gave different names, and the Lee County property appraiser only got certain information. And if we were to look, we would see that some of these do not even have a subdivision name. Lee County does not allow you to search by development. Okay? It's not recorded in the tax information. All right, well, that's a little disheartening. Oops. So how do I get all these properties? All of these that are not showing up? Well, I'm going to clear my search. And since I've got it blown up on my map, I'll make my map the big one. I can now do something a little bit different. I can now just look for everything inside of a mapped area. So I just go up to my upper left, click on my tools, my little pencil up here. I do a polygon tool. Now, I can start drawing this around. So I'm making my map. All right. I go back to my split map, and I now do a search. So remember, before we only had 103 properties. We're going to have quite a few more than that when it pops up. Well, if it pops up. There we go. Now I've got 892 properties. Well, notice that it's changed it from the lines we saw before. So I'm going to change it back from this little icon here to here. So it may take it a second. because it's now going to put it back into line statement. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, this tells me the owner's from Canada over here on the far right. I can see the last MLS listing. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. These look like all homes, condos. Just scroll through, no problem. But what we'll see is we scroll down a little bit more. Oops, right there. I don't particularly want to create a postcard and send it out to the Spring Run at the Brooks Recreation Association. So I can uncheck these, and I definitely don't want to send it to a right-of-way or the golf club. Submerged. Yeah, every lake, pond, or whatever you want to call them, has its own PID. So I don't want to send it to all these kind of things. But at the same token, if I wanted to, I could now, because you want to make sure you're not covering another area. Because if you do accidentally drag it into another area or another development, you'll be able to go through and kick those out. Okay. So you just go through, get rid of the ones that you don't want. Definitely don't want that one. Don't want that lake. Don't want that. These lakes, nope, nope, nope. Okay. So you can go through and get rid of all the ones you don't want. And again, you can go in, create labels. You can do all of that. That's perfectly fine. Or your other option is to do what we call a mail merge. What is a mail merge? A mail merge is a little bit more formal, where you would be creating, you basically would create an Excel spreadsheet and merge it with a Word document, and it will grab all the data and it will personalize to that particular owner, send it to their tax billing address if you wanted to. You just pick the columns where you want it to go to for your envelope. And you could write a form letter that says basically, hello, or greetings, whatever, and then put column A, which is the column A, cell C, or whatever, the name of the person. Then right below that, put in the address of the property, or right behind it. If you're interested in listing your property, I have buyers in your area. Please feel free to contact me, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you can merge an Excel spreadsheet into a form in Word documents, and you hit the button when it merges, and then you can go out and print as many envelopes and the form letter, but it would be individually addressed. So it wouldn't just be going like, hey, you at Spring Run at the Brooks. It would be, hey, if you're interested, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, to list your property at XYZ, 123 Main Street or whatever, then you would be able to do that. I don't teach that, but there are people out there that can show you how to do it, and you can do it on, you can Google it, and it'll show you how to do it, and it works perfectly fine. I don't get that deep into creating labels. So again, if I wanted to, I'm going to select all, Then I'm going to deselect everybody. And let's say I just want to send to just these people. I can then go in and do an export or labels, either one. I like to do the custom export because the quick export will give you all data on the property. You can customize your export, and then you can select what attributes you want to send over, what you want to copy into there. I have mine set up a certain way because I deal with the Lee County Port Authority. So I don't want to mess up that one because we've been doing that for 5 years. I just click export. I open it. And here's what it would look like. You can do it any way, shape, or form you want to do it as far as the data you want to export. And as you can see, I can see the city names. I just pulled them in different ways, but that's the way we have it set up. So we can see the owner's city address. We can see the property address, owner's name. I've got that in a couple of times. So you just tell it to put in A, B, C, D, or whatever, whichever line or whichever column, and it will follow through on all the letters you create. It's a little more personalized when you get a letter than a postcard, but it's more expensive. It's more labor intensive. So that would be something you might want to think about if you're specifically targeting one small street or something. Instead of sending a postcard, you might want to do a mail merge so they at least get a letter. Okay. And again, since you've opened this up, you can edit it or do whatever, how you want to move your data around, whichever way to make it easier for you. All right, so here we see the tax billing addresses here. So we can see this data information and then import it into our Word document. Okay. So that's how we can create labels, as you can see. Got to show the current owner, eliminate duplicates, create it, and then it'll put it into the 5160. These are the default ones you can pick. It'll just highlight in blue.